Hi, everyone, and welcome to Poetcast Unleashed. This is your captain speaking. I'm wearing a tie. My name is Nico Vernaccini. I'm part of this lovely community of poets from Poetry Unleashed, the English speaking underground international society of poets in Copenhagen. With me today, there's a great friend of mine who is originally from Ireland, also a regular at our events, and I can't keep saying that someone who doesn't need much of an introduction, because if that becomes much of a thing, then no one will get any introductions. But Feidhlim Gleeson is here, everybody! Yay!
Hello.
So if say you had to make an introduction for yourself, what would that sound like?
Everybody's favorite question. I'm originally from Dublin, but I've been here for 5 years, and I'm embarrassingly in love with Denmark. I try and keep it on the down low, but I absolutely adore it. And I like to write about people I love and people who wrong me, and nature, and fire and brimstone, and food.
Right. So yeah, a completely normal person we have with us today.
Yep.
I think we have those kind of things in common. I really use writing as a way to get bad emotions out.
And good
Um,
ones.
yeah. I'm very good at living out good emotions and sort of sharing good emotions. But particularly, there's sometimes I meet someone who really just rubs me the wrong way, and I don't like to bring them home with me.
Mm,
So I have to sit
yeah.
there and sort of just, yeah, keep thinking about someone who should completely just do things differently and which is completely wrong. And as soon as I kind of get it down on paper, the want to sort and think about it usually goes away, because I can see it in
Yeah.
front of me, and it becomes uh two dimensional in a certain way.
Yeah.
But
It's like the poet's privilege to have the opportunity to think of the perfect comeback and then write it down and
yeah,
then say it to other people.
yeah, yeah. That's why I do script writing, because the best lines usually are the ones that take 3 months to sort of come up with, and you wish you'd
Mm-mm.
said that.
Mm.
But you said you were in love with Copenhagen. How is that? Is that an abusive relationship? Is it a case of Stockholm syndrome? What's going on?
So I came here because I used to be married to a Dane, and I stayed voluntarily after we got divorced. So, far as I can tell, it's a fairly healthy relationship. I've lived in some exciting places. I've lived in Los Angeles, I've lived in Moscow, and I've lived in Dublin. Dublin is probably more exciting than you'd want it to be. If you lock your bike up in the city center in Dublin, the bike won't get stolen, but someone will steal the wheel or the saddle or the bell or just like one of the handlebars. It's kind of exciting that Dublin is. Um,
Why is that? Out of spite, or is it like
it's just for the
performative?
crack, Nico.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Just for the crack. Yeah. No,
um,
I've just recently gotten a sense of humor myself, so there are a lot of
oh,
things I'm not really,
congratulations.
yeah,
Uh,
in tune with.
um, but all of that is to say that I never thought I would end up in a boring place like Denmark, but I love it because of how boring and safe and easy it is to live in.
And I can absolutely say I speak for many people when we say that we're very happy to have you.
Thank you very much.
It's you make it less boring in so many ways, and it's always exciting to hear you yeah, read aloud on stage. I thought it was very powerful. The last event we had back in July, you wrote about people who had wronged you. Was
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
And are you performing here August 25th?
Yes, I don't know what yet, but I will.
Okay. It's gonna be at La Fair Verte at yeah, in the middle of town, and it's the 2 year anniversary of Poetry Unleashed, which is incredibly exciting. I unfortunately can't be part of it because
Hmm.
I have I got a play of mine accepted at a theater here in Odense, and
Mm.
we're doing a reading on the 21st. So
Ooh, congratulations.
thank you very much.
That's
It's very
exciting.
exciting. I'm gonna be there in spirit. Maybe I'll leave a voicemail, and I'll leave it for Arena, and she can ignore it. But
Please.
I guess you guys can survive one night without me. But when did you move here?
July of 2020.
Right.
Yes.
So you stayed the pandemic, and
Hmm.
mhm.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah, what else? What else could I ask you? Do you like it? Yeah, you said you liked it. Do you have any good spots? Like, is there something you specifically like to do in Copenhagen?
Good spots for what?
I don't know, for eating or just like being a human being?
Yeah, I tell you, I'm obsessed with the Genbrugsstationer.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, if, for anybody who doesn't know, basically they're like little containers at the recycling centers, like shipping containers, and it's basically like a little secondhand clothes boutique, but everything is free. So, if you are addicted to clothes but have no money, it is kind of a little mecca. There are 10 of them, I think, all over the city, and I haven't done it yet, but one day I'm going to do like a cycle tour in one day of every single Genbrugsstation.
And
This
what
is exciting to me.
this is very exciting to yeah, to other people listening to this as well, probably. Is there something specifically you go for when you go to these places?
Um, I think my big dream is to find uh like Nike Airs, um, because I love them, but I refuse to purchase Nike shoes.
Okay.
Certainly not first-hand ones.
Yeah.
And in 10 years of thrifting, I've found two pairs, three pairs of Nike Airs.
Okay, that's amazing. Uh that's yeah, weird. Are there other shoes there as well or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can find all
okay.
kinds of things, but I
Yeah.
just particularly like those Nikes.
Yeah. Huh.
Mm.
All right. Is there like a kind of food you like to eat or I know you like
Um,
watermelon,
I do.
right?
I do like watermelon, and you should freeze it so that you have iced watermelon. So I work as a bicycle tour guide, and my tourists always ask me where to eat, and like I always show them like, oh, you should go to this Danish restaurant, blah blah. But really, the place I want to recommend is Great China on Istilgade, which
Right.
is like Szechuan food,
Sure.
which is the best. And
Yeah.
that's where I'll go if I like have some money and want to celebrate something. And I love I love going there with people, but I also love just to go by myself and
Mhm.
eat noodles.
Yeah. Oh man, I usually I prepare like questions for these things and I send them to the guest, but I thought I'd try something new today because we usually know how to communicate, you know, like actual like like
Are you
people.
having trouble with me?
But I just like I don't know what usually. Well, when did you start reading poetry? Let's get into that. Let's get into that. So what?
Sure, let
Yeah.
us get into the poetry now that we've found our Air Jordans and eaten noodles. Um, I have kind of a secret actually as a poet, which is that I don't really read anything. Um, Obviously I have read poems. And the first thing that comes to mind, like the earliest thing that comes to mind, is the poetry I read in high school back in Ireland. Um, the way it worked for us was that we had to study six poets, and then two of them would come up on the exam paper, and you had to answer on one. Um, and one of the ones that came up was T.S. Eliot,
Hmm.
and everyone else in my class was terrified of T.S. Eliot. And were very upset after the exam. And I was obsessed with T.S. Eliot and wrote like I couldn't write fast enough in the paper, just being like, this poet is so great, and the peaches and everything. I was like on fire for T.S. Eliot basically. Um, so that's like my earliest significant memory of poetry. Um, Beyond that, I kind of have a theory that all kinds of things sink into my brain over time. And like words are very much the way I sort of interface with the world. And like, I mean, I probably milk it too much, but the whole Irish storyteller thing, like sort of everything can become a part of the story. And so I don't directly take in that much poetry, but when I sit down to write, fragments of all manner of things will come out.
Right.
A lot of like pop culture actually and memes and stuff. But also, I don't know, sometimes Greek myths appear or whatever else that I don't know where it's come from.
What do you think it is about specifically the Irish culture that makes it so poetic? Some of the most famous poets happen to be Irish.
Yeah, it's a good question. Um, I don't know. I mean, we also talk a lot about the absurdist tradition in Ireland. So like what's his name? Mr. Waiting for Godot. Beckett is
Yeah, Samuel
obviously
Beckett. Yeah.
Irish. Samuel Beckett is obviously Irish. There's something to do with, I think, the way pre-Christian Irish people interacted with the world. It had a lot of magic in it.
Hmm.
And so we somehow maintained this sense of uh, fun slash ridiculousness. And then sort of like so many countries that were horribly colonized, the sense of humor became a way to sort of manage.
Right.
And then,
Yeah, because you don't have particularly good food, right? That's usually what
Lord, no.
you see that with a lot of colonies have really great food, but you kind of decided you wanted to be funny instead.
Well, it's just because in Ireland you can like just grow potatoes,
Yeah, potatoes.
obviously.
Yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry.
um, but there's a good story from Irish mythology, which, by the way, is wild. Like, according to Irish mythology, the first race of people in Ireland were giants. Um, and then the history just sort of moves on from there, like it was no big deal. But there's a story about a cow that picks a fight with the month of March.
Right?
Have I told you about this?
No, I love it already.
So So they reckon that it's supposed to be like sort of an allegory to help farmers to remember you shouldn't put your cows out too early because it's too cold.
Right.
But the way it goes is that the cow is you're nothing, March. You'll never get me. I can be outside all the time.
Mm.
And March is like, this cow needs to be taken down. So the whole month, March is like blowing winds and rain and everything. The cow's like, you can't get me. And then it's the last day of March and the cow is still standing. So March borrows a couple of days from April, the last 2 days of March from April, and kills the cow on those days. Um, but I think the interesting part is that the ancient Irish thought it an acceptable concept that an animal could pick a fight with a unit of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're coming from.
Sure.
And it just kind of it steeps in even someone who's not poetic at all or wouldn't say they're poetic,
Mm.
like the things you hear bus drivers say in Dublin or just like stuff you hear on the street is uh, very inventive
Yeah.
linguistically.
Yeah. It sounds like a comic book. I'm a big comic book fan. I got Doctor Manhattan in the background there, but yeah, picking
Mm.
a fight with a month just seems like straight out of a Silver Age comic book.
Yeah, just the cow being like, fuck you, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Um, I went to Dublin once over 10 years ago. I did the Wicklow Way, which is
Oh,
like
nice.
it's like a hiking trip. Uh, on the it's almost at the coast, but you walk from Dublin and then all the way south to Wicklow, or the other way around. I did it with my dad, and it
Mm.
took us 14 days, and the weather was beautiful for the entire 2 weeks,
Then it's such a beautiful part of the world.
and we could see everything. You could see almost from coast to coast. It was such
Mm.
an weird experience. And all the locals kept telling my dad and I that we should come back because we brought the good weather with us.
Hmm.
So I could sort of sense that there was, if not superstition, then at least in some way you kind of appreciate the more magical aspects of life through language.
Hmm.
The breakfast killed me though. It was the like the it was the bed and breakfast English
Hmm. Yes,
breakfast,
Irish breakfast, I think
Irish
you mean,
breakfast.
Nico.
Sorry, with like white pudding, black pudding, sausage, eggs. Like it was, yeah, it was something else.
So in Dublin Airport, you can purchase anything you need for that breakfast. So
Mm.
sausages, bacon, uh, black pudding, white pudding, the sliced bread for the toast, bottles of milk, and you'll see people putting them in their suitcases to bring to New York and Sydney and Singapore.
Yeah, maybe the food isn't that bad actually. When I think about it, it's I like to eat pudding again, but uh,
Mm.
but maybe my reminiscing of it is how that works sometimes. The memory of something
It will
tastes
give you a
sweeter.
heart attack.
For sure, for sure.
Mm.
Yeah. No, I'd like to not die just from heart related disease anytime soon, but let's see what
Mm.
happens. The walking was really nice though. Lots of sheep. Um, Beautiful. Like there were these wooded areas as well where you could kind of see
Hmm.
where just like the fields would start and where the woods would
Hmm.
be, and um yeah, I'd love to go back. I'd love to go back
Hmm.
once. When were you last in Ireland?
So I hadn't been for a long time, and then I was there for 2 weeks about a month ago, specifically in Dublin because I'm from Dublin. Um, I had been previously a lot of times because my family members kept dying, and I'm not bringing it up to be morbid, um, but I am bringing it up because, like, speaking of all this culture, I don't know if you've heard of how Irish wakes work.
Oh, I think you need to tell us.
Oh, well, I think it's quite special, and it's sort of it's in the same realm of all this magic because you know we bury people similar to how most people in the Western world do it. But so someone will die, and then a day or two later, the body will come back in the coffin open to the house, and then you'll have a day or maybe 2 days where everybody comes by. So it's like a kind of big reception thing, but the body is there. Um, I was talking to a Dane just yesterday who said that you'll have to tell me if this is true, but some Danes would not bring little children to a funeral. Um, so at a wake, the kids will be like running around the coffin, or like uh, my uncle died, and I mean his poor little son was only 4, but I lifted him up to see into the coffin, so that he could see because uh, it's important for everybody to be there with the body to be able to say goodbye to it properly. And I didn't realize until I left Ireland that in a lot of cultures you would not be like hanging out with the corpse, basically.
Yeah,
um, but it's a way for us to sort of mark their transition. That makes a lot more sense to me than just they're there and then they're gone
sure.
kind of thing. Yeah.
I remember when I was told over the phone that my granddad had died. That's kind of when I understood it at an intellectual level. I understood the words that came into my ears, but it was only when I saw his corpse in the morgue
Mm.
that the rest of my being
Mm.
understood. Like that's
Yes.
when my entire self was on the same page. So I think absolutely being confronted with death instead of it being something that we need to shy away from and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, I know about Irish exits.
We don't do that in Ireland, and we
Why is
don't
it
call
call
them
it that?
Irish.
Okay.
I'd blame the Yanks. They
Yeah.
made it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something called Italian salad. You can buy at the supermarket here, which is not called Italian salad in Italy. It's called Russian salad.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a whole,
With the mayonnaise.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's something weird. What about? I was about to say Irish coffee, but I'm just grasping for straws right now. When did you learn about Poetry Unleashed?
I think I'm a bit of an unusual case because so I put poetry on my Instagram sometimes, and Arena Cold messaged me one day and said, "Hey, do you want to come to my poetry
She
reading?"
does that.
Um, and I looked at it and I was like, "Oh," because I live in Emma. I was like, "Oh my God, it's in Noves. It's so far away, but I suppose I will go." And then I went, and then I've only missed. I think I may have only missed one since
Yeah.
in the year since.
Yeah.
And that's because I was in Ireland at a wedding,
Yeah.
finally, after all the funerals.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You write other stuff besides poetry, don't you? Or what?
No, well, yes and no, not at the moment. I'm taking a break, but I'm trained as an actor, and I've written some solo shows, written and performed on the one-man show, basically. And the last one of those was, in fact, about my grandfather, who was the most recent one to die, because yeah, I needed to process it somehow. So it was about him, but then it was combined with sort of like the ultra individual focus on him, combined with the concept of the flood myth, which I find very interesting.
Right.
Uh,
Noah's Ark.
yes, but you know, the idea of the collective unconscious.
Yeah. What is that? Jung or something like that?
Yeah, Jung's theory that we all sort of share
Yeah.
like a basic root of consciousness and memory. And the thing is that like the vast majority of cultures across the world have a flood myth of some kind,
Yeah.
um, even though they haven't found any significant geological evidence that there was some sort of huge world flood. And even though some of them are not particularly close to the sea, some of these cultures.
Mm.
So I found that very interesting. And then like the link is obviously that Ireland is on the Atlantic Ocean, and my family is from the west of Ireland, so right on the Atlantic coast. And so the like sort of individual nature of my relationship with the ocean, which is then at the same time vast and unknowable and apparently in everybody's head since human beings have existed.
Right.
So I put all that together in a show, along with a bit about my granddad's favorite biscuits, which are fig rolls.
Okay. Um, I think the myth of Moses being put into his basket of straw. I think that's one that's found in multiple cultures as well. I actually read it
Hmm.
in a Superman comic recently because it's basically Superman's origin story. So I don't know if it was made up for the comic or whatnot. I just wanted to sound smart.
Good job.
Thanks. Uh, yeah. So you said you're a trained actor.
Hmm.
What's that about?
What a good question,
What's that
Nico.
about? And where do you get
Uh,
your ideas from? That's my next question.
um, what it is about is such a fine question. I think I may only have found the answer to that last night, actually. So,
Fantastic. Perfect timing.
yes, perfect timing. So I trained here in Denmark in a private school that doesn't exist anymore, called CISPA from 2020 to 23. It was a whim decision when we moved here that I would do this. Went and did it, and subsequently became a bicycle tour guide, as I said. And I was literally sitting here last night thinking, um, you know, my life experiences have led to me being someone who can, despite how it may seem, can be a bit emotionally reserved and like have trouble connecting with people. Um, and being an actor and being a tour guide are ways to bypass that,
All right.
because it's immediately a very intimate space. There's a weird thing about being a tour guide, especially where like as long as you're doing a competent job and you are friendly and open, you get the same thing back from people immediately. They're like, "Oh,
Sure.
I feel safe. I'll
Mm,
share and laugh with you." And I mean, if you're just doing a traditional play on stage, people are not doing that, but it's the same concept. So I think that's why I like to do it. Where I get my ideas.
No, that forget that. Let me jump in.
Okay.
I was a tour guide as well, back in the day
Really?
on the canal boats in the
No,
Copenhagen
yeah.
harbor.
Yeah, yeah.
Danish, English, and Italian. And I
Mm.
absolutely get what you're saying. It's in many ways it was one of like the first steps for me to sort of figure out, oh wait, there's something going on when you're the guy with the microphone.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, if you can't get
Yeah,
acknowledgement, then at least you can get silence from people.
yeah.
They
Yes.
have to sit there and listen to your
Yes.
nonsense. So yeah, and it was fun. Sometimes you could really just feel the energy of someone who was not digging what you were doing. And I
Mm.
went very off script. I found fun little jokes and fun little urban legends about Copenhagen, and
Me
um,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
made a lot of money on tips because all the
Yeah.
Americans would leave tips. So
Yeah.
that was fun.
Mm.
So I usually ask every guest to bring a little text they can read
Yeah.
aloud.
Yeah.
Would you like to present something for us?
Yes. So in the spirit of the way I write my poetry, I've chosen this poem because it was the one my brain told me I should bring you.
Hmm.
So it's not that it's the poem I read every day or it changed my life or something, but it is very beautiful. Um, it's by Patrick Kavanagh, Irish poet who you may have heard of. Um, he was from the countryside in the northern part of Ireland, so not Northern Ireland. Um, there are 32 counties on the island of Ireland. Um, 26 of them, hang on, 6 of them are in the north of Ireland that belongs to the UK, and then there are 3 of them in the northern part that belong to the Republic. Okay,
Okay. Yes.
cool. So he's from one of those. And the poem is called A Christmas Childhood. Will I read it?
Will you? Is that the? Will you read it? Yes, you will read it. Thank you.
Okay, I'll read it now. My father played the melodeon outside at our gate. There were stars in the morning east, and they danced to his music. Across the wild bogs his melodeon called to Lennons and Callans. As I pulled my trousers on in a hurry, I knew some strange thing had happened. Outside in the cowhouse, my mother made the music of milking. The light of her stable lamp was a star, and the frost of Bethlehem made it twinkle. A water hen screeched in the bog, mass-going feet crunched the wafer ice on the potholes. Somebody wistfully twisted the bellows wheel. My child poet picked out the letters on the grey stone, in silver the wonder of a Christmas townland, the winking glitter of a frosty dawn. Cassiopeia was over Cassidy's hanging hill. I looked, and 3 whin bushes rode across the horizon, the 3 wise kings. An old man passing said, "Can't he make it talk?" The melodeon. I hid in the doorway, and tightened the belt of my box-pleated coat. I nicked 6 nicks on the door-post with my penknife's big blade. There was a little one for cutting tobacco. And I was 6 Christmases of age. My father played the melodeon, my mother milked the cows, and I had a prayer like a white rose pinned on the Virgin Mary's blouse.
Great. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna let that sit there. If any of the listeners want to have anything profound to say, or maybe not profound, just anything to say about it, leave a comment below. And I mean, I'm gonna plug next month's event or this month's event. It is, as I said, on Thursday, August 21st at La Verte. It's on Frederiksberg, the 2-year anniversary of Poetry Unleashed. Do you have anything special prepared for it, or are you just gonna figure it out?
Yeah, yeah, my brain will give me something.
Yeah. Um. Wow. This is. It's always good to shoot the shit with you.
You too.
You're a lovely person, and it's just. Yeah, it's nice. You enrich our community with your, quirkiness and shit. So that's that's
Long may
good.
people continue to wrong me, so I have nice poems to read.
Yeah, yeah. But also, let's give you a break for a minute.
Yes, please.
um, this is, I think this is a nice place to sort of. Sorry, is there anything you would like to plug? Where can people find you? Or
Oh, listen, some kind of book will exist sometime in the future, but
mm,
in the meantime, it's nice to follow me on Instagram. My name is hard to spell, however.
mm.
I mean, my handle is Feidhlim Gleeson. That's Feidhlim Gleeson.
I'll put a link down below.
Yes, please. That would be lovely. I'm going to put up some new poems soon, so that'll
Very
be nice.
nice. We're looking forward to that. You can follow Feidhlim on Instagram. I'm gonna link their tags and stuff. Please come to the anniversary. I can't be there, but all your other favorite poets will. So that's fantastic. I look like a Mormon today. I have a hot date. And I guess that's it.
With Jesus?
Yeah, it's it's Jesus. Yeah, I'm one of the apostles. I'm
Nice.
Paul. Yeah. Listen, everyone, thank you very much for following this little show we've got. Thank you always to Arena for being the fairy godmother of our little community. Thank you very much, Failing, for being a part of it, and
Mm,
th-
pleasure.
thank you to everyone for listening. All right, see ya.